But somebody needs to get glasses, you know what I mean, when they're waiting across the street. You know what I'm saying? And not wearing their glasses because they're trying to look cool. There's a lot of ladies around. You don't want to get hit by a fucking bus either, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so what's going on, my good people? Now, remember I did that episode about Springsteen's first guitar a long, long time ago, back when everybody was still, you know what I mean, had some kind of money and had some kind of hope. Well, anyway, what can I say? You might be hopeless and broke, but we still have the Colonel's chicken. This guitar I actually featured at the end of that episode, the Kent episode. I put every episode, every Kent I had in that episode, man. I gave you all the kit and the caboodle, man. I didn't even give myself any space to, you know what I mean, milk it for a couple episodes. I could have done like 5 or 6 episodes. Anyway, you know what I mean. This is one of my favorite old school, you know what I mean, Kent, you know, acoustic guitars. I really like it because, you know what I mean, it's different than most of the other, you know, Japanese guitars that ear. It's different. It's just different. You know what I mean? And that's cool because a lot of stuff kind of looks like this. This is an obvious copy of a Harmony 929. This is a Kent. It's got the exact same, you know what I mean, yellow label in there. You know what I'm saying? The exact same yellow label. Same exact one. From around the same year. Now, I think this was, oddly, I think this was marketed as a steel string guitar. And this was possibly marketed as a nylon string guitar because it has real old, it's like Mastercraft nylon strings on it. How do I know it's Mastercraft? Because I got a whole shitload of strings from the 60s. This looks just like some Mastercraft winds at the end, man. So anyhow, I don't really think this is really intended manufactured in Japan to be, you know, necessarily a classical guitar, but you know what I'm saying, man? If they were selling this kit was B&J was doing that, man. You know what I'm saying? It's cool by me. I'm gonna restore it as a classical guitar. And if they weren't marketing this particular guitar as a classical guitar, we're gonna restore it as a classical guitar because it's only missing 2 strings, and I think I got them in that bin. And we'll be peaceful, and we'll be happy, and we'll play it, and we'll smile, and we'll dial. I can't see too much wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? But it is kind of like an episode of the video journalist, not Guitkits again. I know you guys are excited about Guitkits, but I mean, this is really just, you know, a little bit too fucked up. You know what I mean? And I never played it before in my life to say that this is a guitar that I personally vouch for myself on. I'm not putting myself on the line for this guitar because I don't really know if it's even work. You know what I'm saying? So, got a little bit of work to do. You know what I mean? It's kind of a matte finish. I think that's cool. I really do think that's cool. I think it's intended because of its classical nature. So, I've still talked enough, man. I feel, you know what I mean? I've said too much. I've said enough. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. I'm gonna flip you around. There it is, man. Now, sometimes I, you know, come back from swap meet weekend, you know. I have a whole batch of shit. And I'm excited about it, you know. Bunch of instruments, papers and books and all kinds of old bullshit, you know. And I want to film like the intros to the instruments that I'm gonna actually do little episodes about, you know what I mean, right away, you know. Because I don't want to forget the important details, you know what I mean, of the transaction. How much I pay for it, what kind of character I bought it off of, you know. You know, what I have to say, nothing. So, I filmed the intro to this particular episode and I actually looked at it. It's kind of fucked up. The whole back is all about to come off practically. And it looks like this has been, you know, done been here. And it looks like, you know, the previous owners tried to wedge it back together, possibly, and glue it. You can see like he stuck something in here. This would try to wedge it. Because this is kind of like hard to even push on, you know what I mean? This happens, you know what I mean, when the back comes unglued. And, you know what I mean, there's tension, of course, in this wood that's being sort of held together. You know, in like a guitar mold. And on the convex side of things, and I mean, there's a piece of wood hanging over, like at least a, you know, 1.5, 2 millimeters on this side. That can be sanded off, you know what I mean? But still, there's some fucked up going on with this instrument. Here too. We're like over here, like 4 millimeters almost off target. And here, this is like 2-3 millimeters. You know what I mean? At worst point. Here, there's like at least 1.5 millimeters. You know, there's all kinds of, but this one's, you know, we'll push right in. So, I mean, how you do this? I don't know, pipe clamp here, pipe clamp there. I mean, it's hard to sort of gauge, you know what I mean? Exactly how it's going to glue out under tension. And sometimes you have to do it in two sections. So this might be actually a hard restore, man. See the Japan stamp in there? You see that, man? We are friends now. You pay us back for all the bomb you drop on our people. Now we're very rich. We can't be fucked with. Motherfucker. So, all joking aside, man, this Kent might put a dent in our weekend. You know what I'm saying? This might be a real pain in the arse. Something that I thought was almost complete. I mean, I saw the remnants of like the old plastic from like the mid 60s, early 60s on here. You know what I'm saying? Covered in this piece of like foamium, you know? That's phony chromium. You know? Otherwise, that's that, man. Let's go see, you know, I mean, the truth in the lab. Let's take these strings off. Now that we might have to, you know, actually take all the strings off and shit. Might as well just put steel strings on it. You know, I don't know. Let's see how it restores, man. I'll see you in the lab with these strings off. As much as I loathe to take the strings off, that's the best way to do it. Right? All right. See you there, people. All right. Welcome back to the lavatory. Well, that's my stand-in. In case I'm ever amused in other like interests, then that's what your voice you hear. But since I'm here, I'm gonna say, welcome back to the lavatory. Hey, boss, hey, what about, you know, that money you told you? Give me some things, I don't understand it. Did I ask you for that? Did I ask you for that privilege? Get the fuck out of here. I don't know what's going on, man. So, I studied this, you know, back very, very carefully. And its disconnect from society. You know what I'm saying? There's all kinds of things wrong. And the thing that I concluded, like the easiest way to sort of do it is do not take this back off. I was thinking, yeah, it'd be cool, sure, to get people, you know, then we can, you know, set it up with the rubber bands and stuff the right way. And I was like, that's just like a real fat lady inside, like a real small pantyhose. It's like never going back in there again. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be an exercise in futility. So, in clamping this, you're going to want to start at the weirdest angle. You know what I mean? You push it in, try to do as many mental clamps in your mind. I happen to have 3 functional pipe clamps right now. You know what I mean? I have another one. I can't find the end to it. But let's try to think of the ways, you know what I mean, by pushing in. Now, I've gotten a little bit more limber that one side. I got it to push in. You know what I mean? I found there was a little piece of wood blocking it in the one area, and I cleared it. So, I mean, now it's sort of more fluid. And the odd man out, you know what I mean? I think mental clamps in my mind is this area right here. You know, that always sort of jumps back out, the number of clamps I have. So that's the one we're going to want to start with. So I only want to really apply glue there, even though I'm going to have to run the clamp this way. You know what I mean? And there's an angle here that I could clamp to and glue, but I don't really want to do that at this point because I want to kind of solve that in here because we have some overhang, some weird stuff happening over here. And we're going to want to try to, you know, resolve as easily as possible without having it. You know what I'm saying? Take apart the guitar. There's an overhang over here, too, on this side. You can't really see that much, but it is overhanging that little area. We're going to want to try to push that in as naturally as possible at the correct angles because we don't want to really sand off too much of it. You know what I mean? There's no real big fuck of whoops. You know what I'm saying? So let's just put some, you know what I mean, of my favorite new wood glue. That's this guy, man. No sponsorship, but hey, I'm available. You know what I'm saying? I'm cheap. Couple dollars, man. Maybe I'll talk about Gorilla all through the fucking program from now on. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Gorilla this, Gorilla that. You know what I mean? He's an angry motherfucker. Hey, man, give him a sponsorship, man. So anyway, man, what I'm talking about right now is just to get glue in here as much as we can. We might pry it up with a little X-Acto knife and just make sure it makes contact there, son. And then we're going to run the biggest guy that we have all the way across the guitar over this edge right here, so it's a nice, you know, just this area. Maybe even put a little quick grip on here so it's down flush. Easy as that. When that's the first one, then we're gonna run one here to close it off completely. You know, and one here, we probably do two at once. You know what I'm saying? And we'll do one here in the end, and then we'll try to clamp this guy down. You know what I mean, lengthwise at the end, when everything's like tight. You know what I mean? Keep the quick grips around. I only got two nice quick grips right now, so quick grips. See you when we're clamping, man. You know, we clamp the stamp tramp. You know what I'm saying? We'll get all vamped out. See you in a minute. He was guilty of gerrymandering, boss. Look at me, man. This is what I'm talking about. You want to make sure that you have as much glue in there as possible to hold the side down. The glue stops, you know what I mean, at a point where it's totally flush with the instrument all the way along the glue. And you're going to want to clamp it down. You'll see a little squeeze out and just wipe it out, man. There's a little bit of juice all over there, but you know what I'm saying? I leave my mark. And then we had to put it in with the little douche ball, man, a little suction cup here. I want to give you a cream pie shot. There it is. It's fucking glue right inside of the fucking middle there. Open wide. You know, liberal on that. Get as much glue in there as you can, man. You know, just make sure it's going to stay down. This is a very strong glue, this Gorilla Glue, man. And that's not, you know, the sponsorship kind of thing. But I ain't showing you the logo. I'm going to keep it like this until I get a call, man. Anyway, so I can't tell you more. I told you already. We'll wait till this guy's clamped, and then we'll go, you know what I mean, waving Brenner and Eddie goodbye, right? I don't know, try to clamp in this way and this way. Two clamps at the same time. Two fucking clamps, these fucking tramps. You know what I'm saying? Get it down, man. Why did you get being all poetic today? I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm all hyped up about spring coming. I feel it in my bones and everything. I want to shed these sweaters down in the basement, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'll see you in a moment. Or in my case, like 2 or 3 hours. But you guys, luckily, I can just go like this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There we go, man. That's clamp number 2. You excited about it? Kind of, right? So got to clamp this up here. Shave off a little of this hangover. I mean, we just couldn't do it. You know, we could either push it in this side or push it in that side. This side's nice and flat. Over here is nice and flat. I mean, good as we can do it anyway. Hang over here and there's a little hang over there. Life sometimes isn't all easy, man. So that's that, man. Let's wait till it dries, and then we'll clamp the second course going this way, man. Right? Second time. So 1, 2, 3. And there's phase 3. Now, if you take a look on this side, we pretty much got that overhang gone. Just a little tiny, like 0.5 millimeter maybe on the worst of the worst side. See that? This we couldn't close this in because a little piece of wood actually was clipped off the back of the instrument. It's not from, just a little tiny piece of wood there. So we're gonna let this set. Hopefully the glues will be strong enough to hold it down, because there's got a lot of tension under this. But it's nice and, you know what I mean, where it should be. You know what I'm saying? Everything glued, real tight, even. Looks good. So this is the last setting. I'll see you when it's all set. Then we'll pull the clamps off. Right? Right? So I'll see you then. Ready? Again, 1, 2, 3. So there we are, unclamped. It's set for about 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? Take a look at it. So structurally, we're at 1,000%. Now it's time to sort of get up to the cosmetic trip. Let's get all this glue remnants off of here, and let's run some of this real low tack masking tape around the side here. But on the edge of the masking tape, I'm going to put packing tape. This packing tape's a little bit thinner than this, and I want to get real close to the blade here when I'm doing the, you know what I'm saying, the sanding to get rid of that overhang. You know what I mean, Billie Jean? So I'll see you when we're all taped up, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, people. Alright, so it's all taped up, and I got the packing tape on top of the duct tape. Just a little bit of room so we can get in there and sand that down. We'll just touch it up with some lacquer just in that spot we got a couple of things we'll do, man. So I'll see you in a couple of moments, right? Just a couple of moments. Let's sand those rough edges down. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. Alright, so we sanded down all those overhangs, flat, flush. Gone. There's one there. There's one here. There's a little tiny one over here. So they're gone. We're going to leave that like that for now. So let's go outside and cook up some Bondo, right? Put a little bit of Bondo in these deficits here. A little bit of Bondo. And there's a couple little tiny guys. Like over here somewhere. Right there. See that one? There's one there and there's someone, little tiny ones, other places. I'll see you outside in the Bondo moments, man. Bondo, the moments of your life. See you in a second. And there it is. A nice cold windy day. All bondoed up. Not a great job because it started to harden toward the end. Let us sit out here in the beautiful sun. You know what I'm saying? I'll see you back downstairs when it's real hard. Later. And now it's nice and hard. Keep it out in the garage until it's like dry because it's going to let off like an awful stench. Bondo, man. But we got coverage where we need it. You know what I'm saying? We're not disrespecting the guitar. It's very, very subtle. You know what I'm saying? So one of these little Dollar Tree, sheets of 150. I'm going to cut like, maybe a third off of it and just use it to sort of do it, man. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, I've got really, really good onto the tape. So the next step's going to be a breeze, man. We're just going to make this like it never even happened, man. How? Well, that's what, you know what I mean? The expert, non-expert becomes the expert, right? I'll see you when we're done sanding. Sand flowers on this piece of fan paper tonight. All right, so it's all sanded back. You know what I'm saying? It's all sandy. Looks good. We got like a good line of like, you know what I mean, where the tape ends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray some of this old Rust-Oleum lacquer. It's my favorite one, working with old lacquers. Believe it or not, in this old baby food jar, which I've done quite a few times. Got quite a good bit in there. We got some thinner in there because I got one of my favorite old brushes here. This was the old Big Daddy head. You know what I'm saying? He's got a nice big fat, you know what I mean, stout-hearted brush. And we're just going to, you know what I mean, do the whole thing pretty much wherever, it needs to be done. Then we're going to peel the tape off very carefully while that's like, you know what I mean, just finished, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to touch up the, because there's going to be a couple little areas probably around the tape that have to be touched up while we still got the brush all dirty, and we're going to try to clean it off and try to salvage another couple times out of this old gal. So I'll see you when we're all printed, right? Printed and ready to go, man. See you in a second. All right. So, I mean, from here, it looks like it's ready to go, man. Let's put those strings on, man. If you take a good look, you see there's like, this part's a little shiny. You know what I'm saying? And the rest of it's matte. So let's take some steel wool and just knock that shine down a little bit, A little bit too sheeny in certain places. See you in a moment. There it is. You know what I'm saying? Now you can't see anything. And I touched up all the rest of the guitar with a black furniture marker, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like uneven. Now it looks like nothing. It feels like nothing. You can't see nothing, hear nothing, deal with nothing. So the next nothing I want to deal with is this nothing. Yeah, it's bent, man. Let's take some nice pliers and carefully unbend this. I don't like that, man. It's a tough job. Don't break it. Don't break it. These are weird knobs too. You don't want to break it. Right? See you in a second. There it is, man. Back to like, you know what I mean? Straight shooting. He's not hanging with the wrong guys no more. So what are we going to do next, man? Not too much, man. We use this to straighten it out, by the way. BTW. This thing must be like 2,000 years old. This says, what's it say? It says JC. It belongs to Jesus, man. Anyway, what about this, man? I'm just kidding. I don't think Jesus owned a pair of this. He was a carpenter. Well, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was his. Hey, don't judge, man. Let's thee be judged, right? Let's take a little bit of steel whorl, right? And just clean this off, man. It's got like the plastic, you know what I mean, that was wrapped around it from its original times, but yet it looks like it's prehistoric Looks like it was played by a woolly mammoth. Monmouth County. Right? That's what I'm talking about. I'll see you after that's been accomplished. When I mean accomplished, I mean accomplished. There it is, people. I didn't do it too crazy because I didn't want to mess up the guitar. The right way really is we unscrew it. I don't want to get that involved. You know what I mean? So here it is, man. Now I really am digging this sort of matte thing going on here. So I'm not putting any wax on her. You know that, man. Everything else is looking great. You know what I'm saying? Can't even tell that it was all fucking jacked the fuck up. So let's put a little bit of this old geezer on there, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get it all special and spiffy. I'll see you then. We're almost done, folks. You suffered through enough, don't you think? Hey, man. Kent, it keeps you cool. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, mm, mm. Christmas morning, 1965. Come downstairs. Under the tree. This guy. And it looks almost about the same. Hey, man. That's the baby boomer call, man. Heard people talking at the flea market. Somebody's like selling some kind of baby boomer thing, and only baby boomers like. Hey, sometime soon this stuff's not gonna be collectible anymore. So all the baby boomers are, you know what I mean, not gonna be collecting. They'll be dead. It's like kind of hit me. I was like, what? You don't say that. Never say that. What's left, man? We looked at the fretboard. You know what I mean? These frets have no wear on them. Fretboard still has those beautiful stickers intact. MOP stickers, man. Mother of the toilet seats. This is so nice now. It's like untouched. No wear on the pick guard. So we did a little job also on the, you know what I mean? Little floating bridge, man. Hey, man, float around, man. Do the right thing. Now, I know I said in the beginning of the video I was gonna put classical strings on it. I like refinished it. Every time you see this sticker, it means it's made for steel strings. So I got, you know what I mean? These eyes are like, you know what I mean? Generally really extra light. The variety pack, Amazon, whatever, it's $12. You know what I mean? 8 sets, something like that. I don't know what it was. 24 box, 8 sets. I forget what it was. It's some kind of incredible deal. See at the glamour shots, man. We have to measure this out carefully, make sure we put it down in the right place. 929's already had like a little line on there, man. We do it all by hand. A lazy American. See a little bit. Now, I wouldn't categorically say this is the worst guitar I've ever played. It's not even that bad. You know what I mean? That's how it intonates. By the way, BTW. W. I'm not saying it's, you know what I mean, a top 10 desert island guitar either. I mean, by all means, it's pretty god awful. You know what I'm saying? It sounds pretty god awful too. But it's just as good as any Harmony 929. You know what I'm saying? It's not really that much off. You know what I'm saying? At least we cleaned it up and fixed it up and it looks all nice and the purdy in the back. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't look like anything happened. I even was looking at it earlier. I was impressed myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, man, you did a great job, bruh. I'm proud of you, man. Pat yourself on the back, bruh. So, it is what it is, man. A cheap, entry-level time capsule from 60 years ago, right? You know what I'm saying? A B&J product. Fred Rosenwald, remember him? Eddie Finger? Or B&J friends? So let's hear it, man. I mean, I can sit here and go on and on about things that don't really even, you know, relate to anything. You know me. I'm full of wind, man. But well, I want you guys to hear this, man, because I don't want to waste any more of your precious commodity, and that's time. Right? Time has come today. So let's hear it. Then I'll say, peace be with you. Look after yourself. Peace be with you. Clark Kent. Here it is, man. Kent's acoustic guitar from around about 1965. I don't see any model number. I didn't do too much research to see if there was a model number associated with this beautiful instrument. Sounds like you expect it to sound right. There you give you a little. Not that great, man. Probably better with the bar chords, right? Anyway, man, I was younger. I used to like just a certain couple of artists, you know what I'm saying? If you weren't in that group, I would like make fun of that artist. And one day, I'd say around about 1988, my mom comes home and asks my brother and I, boys, I like Rod Stewart. My brother and I looked at her like, Rod Stewart? The rhythm of my heart beating like a drum guy? You know what I'm saying? Isn't he like kind of girly? My mom said, well, I'm a girl. My brother's like, yeah, she's a girl. But we don't have to like Rod Stewart either. She's like, no. So, you know what I mean? That's like 1988. So I matured. And because I love my mother with all my heart, I learned to accept Rod Stewart. And then I learned to like Rod Stewart. Like to not like him, like go to one of his concerts. Although I wish I did, because my mom went to all kinds of concerts before he had that throat cancer or whatever. You know, back in his heyday, I wish I'd seen one. You know what I'm saying? Rod Stewart's pretty incredible when you think about it. So anyway, a couple of years ago, 13 years ago, I was hanging in Johnny Blade's apartment, right? And Johnny Blade was going through like one of his like serious death metal, like, you know. He had just received like a King Diamond like CD set, and he'd listened to it like every minute I was over there, and it was just very disturbing. You know, he was listening to all kinds of like, you know, and he wasn't even listening to Kiss. He was like listening to like, you know, whatever he was listening to, Slayer maybe. But he was like real into like, you know what I mean, sound, man. So we were like looking at TV one night, watching TV. I think we were watching a whole Butterbean fights, actually. It was a Butterbean fight marathon on one of the sports channels on cable, right? And he looks at me real seriously. You know what, Bobby? You know who's never had a really bad song? I was like, Johnny Blade. And I was thinking of this as a King Dime Slayer something, right? Rod Stewart. Think about Bobby. Rod Stewart's incredible. And I remember my mom like coming home that day, you know what I mean? You know who I like now? Rod Stewart, right? So it all came down to Rod Stewart. I listened to him. Not bad, especially his early stuff, man. Not too bad, man. McCartney wrote also a song called Mine from Me, actually, that Rod Stewart covered. And it's incredible, you know. Rod Stewart doesn't have like a stinker in the bunch, man. There's not one Rod Stewart song I can point out and say, I hate that fucking song. Young Turks, every time it's on the radio, doo-doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. You know, I'm down with it. Anyway, man. So, for my mom, for Rod Stewart, who I heard was the reason I started this whole intellectual diatribe with you guys, is I heard that Rod Stewart was taken ill before some concert. They brought him to the hospital and they pumped 2 gallons of semen outside of his fucking stomach. Stay away from my window. Stay away from my back door too. Disconnect the telephone line. Relax, baby, and draw the blind. Tonight is the night. It's gonna be alright. Ain't nothing, nobody gonna stop us now. I should have practiced the song, you know what I mean? I was actually gonna play Rhythm of My Heart, but I forgot. I started playing a different song, and I was like about 2 lines into it. I was like, let's go with it, man. Do I know the lyrics? So I'm playing it to you as I'm trying to remember the lyrics. Rod Stewart, man, peace be with you. I hope you're well. Hey, man, just one booger at a time, man. One booger at a time. See you guys next week. This dude's like bang more hot girls than any man alive and everything. We're all making fun of him. I love you, Rod Stewart. Peace be with you. Always.